Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The life of the Prophet Muhammad, the fourth session. Brothers and sisters all over the world, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's continue our discussion of the life of the Prophet Muhammad. It was time for the Qurayshis to take action. If the idols were destroyed, what would become of them? The keepers of the idols and their renown throughout the land. How would they retrain the allegiance of the neighboring tribe who came to worship their several divinities at the Kaaba? That a few should follow the ravings of a madman or magician who preferred one god above the beautiful deities of Mecca was of small concern, but that some leading men of the city should join the sect, and that the magician should terrify the people in broad daylight with his denouncement, with his denunciation of the worship which they superintended was intolerable. The chief were serious alarmed and resolved on a more active policy. Hitherto, they had merely ridiculed the preacher of this new faith. Now they would take stronger measures. Muhammad they dare not touch directly, for they belonged to a noble family which, though reduced and impoverished, deserved well of the city, and which moreover was now headed by a man who was revered throughout Mecca, was none other than the adoptive father and protector of Muhammad himself. Nor was it safe to attack the other chief men among the Muslims, for blood revenge was no light risk. They were thus compelled to content themselves with the individual's satisfaction of torturing the black slave who had joined the obnoxious faction. The struggle grew in intensity. The Meccan oligarchy was seriously disturbed. Muhammad was in earnest. He was the messenger of God and was under his order. The idols of Mecca were not gods or partners with the Almighty. they were helpless and useless, and there was no God but Allah. This purest form of monotheism, which is the essence of Muhammad's faith, was an impossible doctrine for the Qurayshis to accept. The polytheism of Makkah had been established from time immemorial. It was not only the religion of their ancestors, but the source of their distinction in all Arabia. If it went, with it would go their honor, power, and wealth. Muhammad was the descendant of Abdul Manaf, Hashim, and Abdul Muttalib, who generation after generation had been the leading man of the Quraysh and had its interest at heart. So why not try to settle with him on whatever might satisfy his dream of power and ambition? A prominent leader of Makkan oligarchy, Utbah ibn Arab Rabi'ah, was authorized to negotiate with Muhammad. Utbah called Muhammad to the Kaaba and there stated his proposal. O son of my brother, you know your place among us Qurayshis. Your ancestors are high in our pedigree, and your clan is foremost and strong. You have shocked and disturbed your people. You have broken their unity. You have ridiculed their wisdom. You have broken their unity. You have ridiculed their wisdom. You have insulted their gods. You have degraded their religion. And you have even denied piety and pure faith to their ancestors. Muhammad then said, I am listening. Utbah continued, saying, if you want wealth, we will all contribute to make you the richest of us all. If you object, if your object is honor and power, we will make you our leader and promise to decide nothing without you. If even you think of royalty, we will elect you our king. If that which you experience and see, meaning the revelation and the visitation of Gabriel, is beyond your control and you cannot defend yourself against it, we shall help cure you by spending money for medical care. It is possible for a man to be overcome by the force of an unseen power until he finds a way to a cure. Muhammad's answer was frustrating to the great representative of the Makkah leaders. He said with respect, Abu al-Walid, listen to me, please. Whereupon he began to recite from the Quran the basic tenets of his new creed. The negotiation was broken. A compromise was impossible. Muhammad wanted nothing less than a complete submission to the new faith. He himself was only a messenger, and he had to carry out his orders from God and fulfill his mission faithfully. The situation became more serious. The Makan oligarchy resorted the Makan oligarchy resorted to violence against the growing humble element of two congregation. They appealed to Muhammad's dignity and to his aristocratic blood, rebuking him for being the leader of the slaves and the unworthy in the city. You are followed only by the contemptible and degraded people who do not think. Brothers and sisters all over the world, we will continue the story of the Prophet Muhammad later. That's all for today. Thank you very much for your attention and good cooperation. May God bless you wherever you are.